Hi guys, welcome back to Goodbye Grains. I'm Alicia and today we are going to be talking about paleo meal planning. Now I'm going to kind of talk about this in three separate sort of categories. One is about the actual planning ahead itself, one a little bit about shopping, and then one kind of a little bit more about the actual prep that goes into this. Now, I don't want this video to be ridiculously long, so I'm kind of going to be a little bit brief on some topics, and I should also probably preface this by saying I am ridiculously type A, total planner, probably to a fault, and so some people are going to watch this and think that girl spends way too much time on planning meals. But it's something I enjoy, it's something I have fun doing, and it's something that definitely keeps us on track with paleo eating. And so based on all of those things, it also saves us some money. So based on all of those things, it's something I continue to do. And I do try to be a little bit more flexible now than maybe I have been in the past. You know, if something changes and it would like throw me for a loop, now I'm a little bit more laid back about stuff. You know, if a meeting comes up or an event comes up, or, you know, a friend gives us a call for a birthday celebration or something like that, it's fine now. Before, when we first started eating paleo, I was like, oh my God, what are we gonna do? So this is kind of some of my tried and true planning tips and stuff that'll help, especially if you're just kind of easing your way into a paleo lifestyle and you're not really sure how you should shop or what you should buy, or you think it's just gonna be way too much work. I am here to tell you it is not too much work. It is totally doable, and your family will be better for it. So let's get started. Okay, so the first part is planning ahead. Now what I normally do is I keep a document either on my computer or in my email that kind of goes through the next 7 to 10 days, and that's about how far out that I plan. And usually I'll kind of look at our calendar, see what kind of stuff we have going on, and then kind of look at different sales ads. Sprouts is one of the main places that usually has an ad out during the week for a place that we shop. And I usually shop on Wednesdays because they have double ad days, so you get way more discounts and deals. And I will kind of use those two things and start planning out our meals. Now, I also kind of take a look and see what kind of maybe different ingredients that there are. So different, you know, vegetables or some other kind of ingredient that we maybe wouldn't normally have in the house. I will try to plan a second meal using those same ingredients. So for instance, celery. I don't like eating celery by itself. Neither does my husband. And if I'm making like a stew or something like that, usually you only need maybe 2 or 3 stalks of celery, so the rest of the celery would go bad. So I'll usually try and think up of another recipe that I can use the remaining celery for. So this way I'm not wasting ingredients, not wasting money, and so that's kind of what I try to do. There are some meals that I'll plan out even further ahead, so birthdays or, you know, specific celebrations, or if we're gonna have a barbecue and have a bunch of people over, usually I'll plan that out more than a week in advance. Just so that I can start collecting, you know, meat or other types of ingredients that will either freeze or that will keep for longer. This way, if there's good deals, or, you know, there's stuff like avocados, for instance, where you need to allow them to, you know, finish ripening, I try to plan those a little bit further in advance. So the next part is shopping. Now there's one store that we go to without fail every single week, and that is Sprouts. And the reason for that is they have a fantastic selection of fresh produce, fresh meat, and ingredients that are pretty inexpensive compared to what you get everywhere else. We also go to farmers markets, but unfortunately in Colorado, our farmers market season is pretty short. It's usually from about June through end of September, early October, and then the farmers markets shut down for the whole rest of the season. And so there's a pretty short window where we can get fresh local produce at a farmer's market, but we certainly utilize those when the season is here, like it is right now, and, you know, try to buy local organic produce. It's usually a little bit more expensive than at Sprouts or somewhere like that, but the quality is outstanding. The other place we go to is usually one of the bulk stores, and we don't go there every week. I would say we go there 2 to 3 times per month. Currently we go to Costco. We've also gone to Sam's Club before. And that is where we buy, you know, organic spinach, where we buy frozen fruit, like for smoothies and stuff, where we'll usually buy, you know, giant 3, pound bags of broccoli or Brussels sprouts, or the big 10-pound bags of red onions. Just some of those really large quantities that aren't going to go bad or that we eat pretty regularly. And so it's not going to go bad before we can use it up. And the great part about a lot of those types of ingredients, like the organic spinach and everything, it comes pre-washed in a tub and makes it really easy for you to use and incorporate into other recipes. So utilizing those, you know, kind of main grocery stores, I can kind of plan ahead. I never go into one of those stores without a list. And the reason for that is there's been so many times where I've forgotten a specific ingredient that I went in there for, just from, you know, being absent-minded or, you know, seeing something else that kind of takes my attention. And I get all the way home and I'm unpacking my groceries into the fridge and I realize I forgot, you know, whatever it is. So now I always have a list. Anytime I go into the store, I usually just keep it, either email it to myself or keep it in, you know, a drafted email and just pull it up on my phone as I'm walking through, and that makes it super easy and keeps me from forgetting. So the last piece is prep. Now, I usually utilize Sunday as my meal prep day. Sunday is the day that I make the breakfast for Monday through Friday for the week for my husband and I. It's also the day where I usually make 2 to 3 big trays of roasted vegetables. I mentioned this in my kitchen essentials video, I think. Those giant baking sheets that I use. I will fill those up with broccoli, Brussels sprouts, carrots, you know, any types of roasted vegetables, and just pop them into a 400-degree oven with a little bit of olive oil or coconut oil and some, you know, salt and pepper. And then I have roasted vegetables for the entire week. And it makes our weeknight meals really easy because then all I have to do is, you know, grill some chicken or, you know, pull out, you know, something that was in the slow cooker, and we can have dinner on the table during the week in less than 20 minutes. And so, you know, using those 2 hours or so on a Sunday to really get a lot of the meal prep out of the way is so helpful and really kind of keeps us on the paleo eating, you know, track. There's never something where we come home and we are starving and we have to wait an hour to make food, or kind of have that like, oh, we'll just go pick up food or something like that because it's going to take too long and we're too hungry. And so by having those ready-made meals, you know, stuff in the slow cooker, stuff that I've made large portions of and then froze, things like that really are essential pretty much for weeknight cooking. Because when I come home from work, I usually don't want to be standing in the kitchen for another hour. And so it's a lot easier when we have ready-made meals, stuff that we've prepped, stuff that's really easy to grill. You know, maybe it's marinated meat that we just need to pop it on the grill. It makes it a lot more simple. That is the other thing too, is when we grill, we usually grill at least 2 nights worth of meals. And so by planning ahead, if I see that we're going to make burgers on a Tuesday night, I will have something defrosted and ready for the grill for a Wednesday night meal on Tuesday. This way, when we've finished making our dinner, or sometimes I'll even do it before we make that night's dinner, I can grill up some sausages or grill, you know, chicken thighs, or, you know, throw something else on the grill. Usually I will not make steak or any other kind of meat like that ahead of time, because then when you reheat it, usually it loses some of its, you know, I like my meat very rare, and so when you reheat it, it loses some of that. But, you know, especially stuff like chicken, sausages, even like turkey, as long as you cook it so that it's just cooked, you're not overcooking it, it'll still taste great when you reheat it for the next day. One last tip that I have is always plan for leftovers. And luckily, both my husband and I really don't mind leftovers. In fact, sometimes we really love leftovers. Anytime I make anything in the slow cooker, anytime I'm making a dish that takes a couple hours to make, so if it's braised meat, or something like that requires a little bit more prep or a little bit more ingredients, I always make twice as much, and then we either use that for our lunches for the week or we will freeze it. And the big benefit to that is you kind of are getting two for the price of one, and so I would definitely utilize leftovers. It makes eating paleo really, really easy, and it allows you to kind of get the most bang for your buck too with ingredients and with kind of your time, because just maybe an extra 10 minutes of prep to make a recipe twice as big really saves you in the long run. So I hope this has been helpful. I know in the beginning when I first started eating paleo, meal planning was a little bit more foreign to me. I certainly did plan out our meals before, but I kind of did it a little bit more on the fly, I guess you could say. And when we first started eating paleo, in order to, really save money and to save time, over the last, say, 18 to 24 months, I've really kind of come up with this plan for the way that we plan our meals and we prepare our meals. So if you have any other requests that are like this, or you'd like me to go a little bit more in depth into something specific, or kind of show you what we have in our fridge, freezer, pantry, stuff like that, definitely leave a comment down below and I will happily shoot that video. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. I will be back next week with a new recipe. For the month of July, I am going to be doing a cold treats month. It's getting real hot here in Colorado, so the next 4 weeks will be recipes that are kind of nice little sweet treats, kind of paleo indulgences that are nice and cooling in those warm summer days. So I will see you guys next week for that, and have a great weekend. Bye.